We all just want to have the opportunity to do great, meaningful work. Maya Angelou said very wisely, people will forget. They will forget what you said. People will forget. They will forget what you did. But people will never forget the way you made them feel. To all who have been on this journey with me and supported the films in which I've had the privilege to play, it is my profound honor to have been able to make you see and feel through my work. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. And still I say, the best is yet to come.
In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I'm needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday and it is your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Thank you for tuning in to Blurred's Eye View. If this is your first time here and you're watching this on IG, hello everybody out there. Thank you for checking us out. Show your love on the YouTube channel. Go over there, hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, all that great stuff. For those who have tuned in at the beginning, you caught the last maybe 30 seconds or so of the speech that the Queen herself, Angela Bassett, had gave for. She was given an honorary Oscar for her achievements in her work. We'll be getting into why we feel that way about a lot of stuff on that one later. But mind you, I will say that the pro in this whole thing is not only that she's been recognized, but it's also the fact that we got the speech. She gave us a nice 15-minute speech. So you will be seeing the full speech on the YouTube channel and as well as the website. So tune in for that. Without further ado, let's get this ship revved up and going. Lady Mandalore, what's happening?
Hi, hello everybody. How are you doing this evening?
What's going on? What's going on, Nicole?
Ooh.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey, Nicole. What's going on? Hey, Chloe. What's going on?
What's going on? How you feeling?
I feel good. I had a nice meditative session just before we came on, and I actually feel very relaxed.
That's black people talk for sleep.
No, like I got my whole sage and my candles burning and
She's okay. I recant my statement.
I appreciate it. I took the time to take care of myself on a Thursday night.
I tend to do like 20 minutes before the
No, I
show.
can't do that, homie. No, it's eight or nothing. Like no, no. No.
Oh, you figure I do 10-hour work days and then whatever errands I'm running in and then producing the show. So
Right.
so
Right.
some kind of way I learned something. I learned something from Bruce Wayne.
No, I'm gonna figure out how to get all I need to get done within that allotted period of daylight time. I am going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep like the just and small children. I refuse. I am not a morning person. If you can't tell, I will break you. If
So
you wake me up a minute before I'm supposed to wake up.
I don't know if you caught it, but like before the show, I played
Yeah.
the Queen's speech,
Yeah.
the only Queen we recognize.
Yes.
When I looked, I was like, oh, it's actually not 5 minutes, it's 15 minutes. She gave us 15
No,
minutes.
they who's cutting her off?
Yeah, there was no. So I'm glad that I'm in the retrospect that she got this award. I'm glad we got the speech, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, she exudes royalty, hence the name we gave her. It's just but
now listen, look, we gonna get into it. We gonna talk about it because I have words, collective, actual, thought out.
and she's not the only one that received an honorary that night. It's certain term. Mel Brooks received one too,
That's
which
cute,
is
anyway. But
which is
yeah,
weird because
um,
I like his work
that's cute.
and
He's good.
he's literally like knocking on the door, and what are y'all doing over there?
He's
Like,
gotten his Tonys. He's gotten his whatever the other awards are. Like it is. Can we move on? Because I got.
yeah, we gonna talk about it.
We gonna talk. We
We're gonna
need.
talk about it.
It's
It needs to be talked about because if y'all were here for last year for the non-dub that was snubbed, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We'll be watching. What's happening?
Speaking of,
what we gonna talk about? What happened?
The Queen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gonna talk about it.
How do we not? Does that make him? I believe so.
I don't think he's gotten an Oscar.
Other than the honorary, but the actual, yeah, I don't know how that works.
No,
but yeah.
I like Mel Brooks. He's a comedy daddy in my head, but no.
It was just the fact. It's the fact of the matter that we gave him a look. we gave him the collective look. We just like,
yeah,
we're gonna celebrate because it's her, and until she gives the call, we ride at dawn. But yeah, what's going on, Will?
Nothing. If y'all want to hear about how good God is, real quick, I had to leave my last job with very specific timing. Won't go into the details. Little legal reason, but
he said little.
They were upset because they only got a week notice, a whole week.
Oh, bless their heart.
I know. But old job was just like, hey, where's Will? He did such a great job this year. He deserves a reward. And so they had to like call me and be like, hey, so like, what's your mailing information so these people can give you your award or whatever? I'm like, oh, didn't think you'd hear from me so soon, did you? Oh, didn't think you'd ever have to deal with me again, huh? Oh, Jesus' name.
It's amazing how these people want to give flowers after the fact.
It's consistent. It is consistent.
Well, to be fair, like I was a contractor, so it's like the place I worked for, they loved me. The contracting people were just like, but the place I worked for, they want to give me an award. And the contractors had to like, listen to my lovely voice. They had to hear this great smirk as they had to, damn, I guess you were good at your job, huh?
So we have a special guest with us tonight. This brother is massively accomplished. Number one, he's a blurred. He's a doctor. He's a doc. He has an MD, PhD, I believe he's going for. He's going to talk about it, and he's creating a little app and I don't want to say little. Let me take that back. He's created a VR app.
He has undertaken taken the time and succeeded in creating something that very few others have done without a massive team behind them.
Yeah. Stephen Christian, come on board. What is going on?
Oh, you're muted, baby.
Yeah, you're muted. You're muted.
It happens to everybody. There's a button underneath in you're in the show thing. It'll say mute.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
there
so you have to do full screen, and then you could unmute yourself. If you're not at full screen,
let me give you this, because I was reading your bio and my God.
Apple.
Yeah.
Gifts given.
I appreciate it.
Quite impressive. Quite impressive.
So there's a couple of disclaimers. I don't have my MD yet, but I am an MD PhD student. And so talk to me a couple years later, and that's nice. still pending. But
pre-doctor, that's all.
Yeah. They call it the baby doctors. We're like baby doctors right now.
Yes.
So tell the people about your background, because this is something. This is something.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, where do you want to start? But for the most part, I mean, like, in a nutshell, like, how do I describe it? I like to challenge myself. That's kind of the best way that I could describe it. I am originally from Sacramento, California, but like my family is from like the Bay Area and stuff. So, Richmond, California, Sacramento, like the Northern California area is mainly like where I grew up. And I come from a pretty, robust like football and baseball family. And so, in high school, it was just like trying to get to the league, trying to get some money, try to do what you're supposed to do, right? Like, growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, Black kids, just like you get a scholarship, you go to college, you sort of do that thing. And so, I was fortunate enough to, kind of funny. I was like smart in high school, and I was also like one of the fastest guys coming out of California at that point. And so going into my senior year, like I was actually one of Jim Harbaugh's like first commits at Stanford. And so if you're like familiar with, the most recent, game that happened and all that stuff, I was one of his original commits when he got to Stanford and stuff like that. But, for one reason or another, I did not want to play for Jim Harbaugh, for reasons I will not, harp on, but, it just,
It didn't sit right in your soul.
That's
well, I would say, I would say, like, just Google how Richard Sherman feels about Jim Harbaugh, and you can get an understanding of, because when I committed there, that was right when Richard Sherman was moved from receiver to defensive back. And so when I would go up to Stanford, they'd be like, okay, you're sort of like the prototype of what we're looking for when we're bringing you in and stuff like that. And so, aside from the point like that like, didn't really work out there, ended up playing at Hawaii at the end of like the June Jones era and going into, the McMacken era, and ended up having 2 hip surgeries while I was there. And so it was an interesting experience, because I was, in one way or another, I was sort of stuck just living in Hawaii, trying to, figure out life and stuff like that. And I think after my second hip surgery, I wasn't sure if I was going to be playing anymore. And so I essentially decided to like, and this is back when like Borders books was still a thing, right? Like, that was
the high school hangout for me.
Right,
man.
right? Like, Borders books was still a thing. And I was just like, I want to create like the next Boondocks, or I want to like create Boondocks in like my own image and stuff. Like I was a big fan of Aaron Magruder. I have all the comic strips. I watched all the shows like from high school up and then. And this was before I think season 3 came out. And so it was just like there was nothing for like Black people to like watch. It was just sort of the end of the heyday. And so I just started to like get into comics, get into animation, get into, just sort of like storytelling. And I was, as I was recovering from hip surgery, I just got, hired at the school newspaper, and I was getting published like 3 times a week. And so, I just started to just like grind it out, trying to figure it out. What my purpose was outside of being like an athlete. Because that was pretty much, that's why I was at school, and I couldn't do that anymore. Right. And so after that, ended up like graduating. I had 2 years of eligibility left. I was hard headed as usual, and I was like, screw it. I have a chip on my shoulder, and I still want to keep playing. And so after 2 hip surgeries, I ended up graduating school, transferring to Oregon State, getting in a master's program, and then I ended up starting at Oregon State. For my like first 2 years, or like my remaining 2 years that I was playing football. And so I was kind of like, I like quickly became an Oregonian, and by far was like the best experience of my life. And not only because I was like playing in the Pac-12, RIP, but I got to play with a lot of great people. And because I was in a grad program, I was giving a lot more liberties as a student athlete to like explore things outside of like just what they want you to do, because I already had my degree and I had 2 years. And so I got to do art shows. I got to work with different organizations, angle that whole student athlete thing. I mean, like back then we couldn't get paid. And so it was a lot of, finagling around all the different stuff that like the NCAA like forced you to do and forced you to do. And one of those was just like, if there was money involved, I had to literally like leave the building. It was just like, if they're like coming to see my work and stuff. And so, like that was sort of like a very formative experience that, sort of allowed me to explore a lot of things off the field. And then, when I decided to like retire from playing football, then I ended up just like spending a year to just like make a documentary about like the business of college athletics. And that, that gave me an interesting taste of like, what to expect for like, entertainment and Hollywood and stuff. And, I ended up, I got the opportunity to like screen it in movie theaters. It got picked up by Hulu. And it was just like sort of like this thing after another just for it to happen. And then after all that stuff happened, I like, sort of like reality set in. And it was just like, okay, student athlete, I have this body of work, I have passion, but I have no work experience and I have no internship experience. And I'm no longer a student. So with the master's degree, I was pretty much unhireable. And so I was just like, well, dude, like, like what the heck? How do you do it? Like, what do you do with this? Right. Like, and so, it's like I had an IMDb page, but I couldn't get hired on an entry level job because they weren't going to pay me enough. Like I didn't have the experience for a master's degree. And I was, I was just overqualified for entry level positions. So it was just like, this
Ain't
like
that the breaks? That's the breaks right there.
where it's just like, dude,
educated but can't get in. I understand that feeling.
Yeah,
I'm so triggered right now.
like it's just it just sucked. And so one of the things like so like my cousin, he ended up having a really successful career at Denver as a tight end. And during that time, he was like in LA, and he had this like creative agency. And I was like, okay, dude, I need to get on a creative agency. I can angle that, blah, blah. That never happened. They didn't hire me. But what they did do is they gave me like one piece of advice. And the advice was that I have a variety of different skills that I, was sort of, making different things here and there, but like they weren't necessarily connected. And so the best thing that I could do, in their opinion, was put all that stuff into one project. And if you do that, then it will give people a good idea of what skills you have. And so that really stuck with me as I like moved forward. One, I was still salty that I still didn't get a job. And so I was just like, dude, right. But like the big thing was that like it narrowed my focus onto, okay, if I do something, I'm going to put all my skills towards it and it'll eventually get me a job. Right. And so what people see of my work now is quite literally just that project. And that project is Island Fever. It started off as a webcomic, and I had years and years and years of like newspaper comics. And then from there I moved into animation. Interestingly enough, I ended up getting to like exploring more of the tech stuff, because whenever I would do conventions, you could go to a convention, you could be like, oh yeah, I'm an animator, but normally conventions don't have freaking they don't have internet. And so if you say, oh yeah, I'm an animator, all they're going to be like, oh yeah, let me see your stuff. You know, and then you try to send them a YouTube video or whatever, don't have any internet or whatever. So then I'm sitting here, you know, looking at people that got stickers and books and all that stuff. And I'm saying I'm an animator, but ain't nobody seen none of my animation. Right. And so it's just like, it was just like tough in that way. And so, you know, as I started to get, you know, further, deeper and deeper into this stuff, trying to still get a job, right, but still like working on my stuff and building out sort of like an IP, like an early, you know, an early iteration of an IP. It was just like, okay, well, you know, I have tons of comics as web comics. Let's just put those into print. So now I had books to sell. And so now, you know, I'm going out. People are like, oh yeah, your characters are cute. What if you had stickers? What if you had magnets? Well, those are really easy and cheap to make. So now I got a whole line of stickers. Now I got a whole line of postcards. Now I got a whole line of that. And then it was just like, okay, well, I have all this, you know, sort of animation on YouTube. I'm an animator, tried and true. Like, you know, comics and stuff, I could crank those out because it's significantly less drawing than animating. Like it just is. Just the numbers just are not on my side when it comes to animation, but they are when it comes to freaking, you know, comics and stuff. And so I was like, you know, but what if I can take those stories that I would normally animate, you know, have them storyboarded out, turn those into comics, and then integrate the animation instead of putting it on YouTube. I could put those into the book. And that idea I sort of stuck with, and that, you know, I pretty much spent, you know, end of 2019, 2020, 2021, just sort of developing what that looked like. And then after, you know, a couple of months initially, it just like, I just put the first demo of the app out, and, you know, I was an AR developer, and I was sort of exploring that space. And I think when it came to that, like that was the most liberating thing. Because normally when you're working on projects, you're like, okay, you know, like, dang, if I had this team or if I had this, I could do all this stuff with it. Quite literally, every time I come out with the book, I could add all the animation I want. I could add all the music I want. I could add button interactions. I could add all those different things that I would normally do. Right. And the best part about it is that, you know, I could generate revenue from it. And so not only can I make money off of my books and my stories, but I could also make money off of my animation. And I think that is one of the things that really stuck with me, because if you really think about it, how do you make money off of animation? Like you got to get on with the studio. And if you get on with the studio, or you have a popping YouTube channel, which is really hard to do, like it's really hard. Like, you know, and so, you know, the that stuff sort of like carried me through like the pandemic. And mind you, in the backdrop, I'm still like, all this time, I'm like trying to get into medical school. After I didn't get hired, I ended up doing a post back at Portland State. And then, you know, did that for 2 years. And then for like the remaining 4 years following that post back, I just pretty much, you know, took the MCAT twice, you know, did all my prereqs, volunteering at the hospital and all that stuff. And then I eventually got into school, I think, 2021. Yeah. And so then it was just like, okay, well, now I'm a medical student. And then, you know, because of the pandemic, AR, emerging technology, VR, they were like, that's sort of like the saving grace of like in medical technology at this point. So everybody was like, man, we need to do this and do that with tech and all that stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, well, dang, you know, like all the stuff that I was doing, I was just kind of just doing on the side. And it just sort of like happened to like integrate in this interesting way. And now it's sought after. But when I was applying to medical school, they was like, this is a distraction. This is that. Like, we don't think you're focused and all that stuff. And once you get in, it's a completely different, it's completely different. And so now at least, you know, I'm like, you know, studying for my first board exam. And I am like animating on the side and working on a few projects for a couple of clients, and working on Island Fever and trying to launch, you know, the mini books and
Lady Mandalore is dumbfounded right now.
Like
there's no way. Like, just I'm studying to get my vet tech license, fucking finally, whatever. Doing just that by itself is inundating. You are going for your boards while you're building an AR program, while you're doing side jobs, while you're no.
Well, I would say that like they all happen in waves, right?
Okay.
Like so it's not like I do juggle a lot of stuff, but like
Yes, you do.
it happens in waves, and like there's a lot to say about doing a little bit every day towards an end goal. And I think that at least to manage and navigate the constant stress that I'm constantly under, I really stick to that because it all works out in the end. It just and so
somehow it's working.
Not I'm juggling a tiger and a shark and a bear, and I got I'm doing a flambe behind me with my toes. Yeah, no, it's fine. This is fine.
This man is juggling.
Background. Yeah, it's all fine.
This man is juggling chainsaws while giving us string theory and saying it's cool. We're gonna get this will all work out.
So,
sir, wow.
Let me read his bio for those who just coming in. Stephen Christian is Nevada's first Black American MD PhD candidate. He's an innovative founder of Iltopia Studios, blending medicine with art and technology. Blending medicine with art and technology, his animations address social justice while supporting his medical journey. With a master's from Oregon State, he's a mentor and teacher in Reno, Nevada, contributing to nonprofits. Key projects include Island Fever AR, Analog AR Headset, Doodle Life Platform, and consulting for Unity Learn, featured in the Wall Street Journal and more. He's also an integrative neuroscience student at the University of Nevada, Reno, a Unity certified instructor, and an AR/VR expert, pioneering emerging art, tech, and health.
So not only are you a doctor, but you are doing
not a doctor yet. Not a doctor yet.
My guy, let's
pending doctor.
I'm giving it to you. All right,
it's already in the air. We're putting it in the air. We're putting it in the air. First off, I need to give you this. Because wow,
one of the harder sections of medicine. Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna ask him where's the cape at, because to accomplish all that, sir, I got nothing. I you know what, at that point, when do you start practicing? So I know who to sign up for.
There's a wait list. Wherever you sign up, there's a wait list.
Like, I hope it's sooner rather than later. Like that's like I was looking at, because like the FAFSA, they just like updated all their stuff, and so they're like, oh yeah, hurry up and like fill out your FAFSA and all that. And I'm looking at the numbers, I'm like, that looks bad, but I know that won't be that bad once I start practicing. But to be a physician, it is a $500,000 investment.
Yeah,
like off the bat. And so like you see it accumulate over it, and but you have a greater appreciation for like the process and everything, albeit I will say that a lot of the stuff I go through on a daily basis, I'm just like, Black people weren't involved in none of this stuff. Like,
my guy,
just like it's like that's a constant reminder. And being that like I'm like quite literally like the only Black person, and if I'm not the only Black person, I'm the only Black American, right? Because there's a lot of immigrants, there's a lot of African immigrants that often occupy the spaces that Black people are in, and and often you see that just like there's just a lot of like cultural differences that make things very isolated, and so when I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on this project, like it ends up working out that way because like it's such an isolating experience that like a lot of the things I get to do, and a lot of the friends and the stuff that I get to do and hang out with people and stuff like that, that's normally like if I go to a convention or if I go back home or something like that. But like for the most part, I'm just like, I just bought a condo, so I'm a homeowner and I have 2 stories, and I have a storage unit, and so I got a lot of space to just like do me, and I just gotta pass my tests and not get in trouble.
I I want to show your Kickstarter promo just for people to understand what this looks like. And me and Lady Mandela are already like kind of stuck on words, which is not an easy thing to do. But my God, this is impressive. So check this out. Damn.
Right. I got wow. That is
Yeah.
and Black Spirit.
Everybody's on mute. Everybody's on mute.
First off, congratulations on all these endeavors, because these by far are not easy tasks to do.
No.
And the fact that you're still moving forward and still pressing on and going after your PhD, your MD, and having this AR VR comic book, the accomplishments, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
You say.
Man.
Okay.
Here I am thinking I'm tired. This man has a full-on VR storybook, and I'm sitting here like, you know what? I'm not tired now. I feel the need to go back to what I was doing just about 2 minutes ago.
It's very much giving quit your bitching.
I'm like, this man is about to be about to be a doctor, and he done established 5 different things in record time. And like Kira said, it's inspiring because you can't say spit to that. I mean, I want to give, don't get me wrong, Steve. I want to give you all the credit because, dude, it's very rare that we'll see something that has that original idea on a Kickstarter, and then you tell us everything else that you're doing, and you're still going through medical school, and you're still trying to build several different other innovations that you got going on right now. I'm like, when do you sleep?
He don't. You can't tell me. You what? 4 hours?
2.
Oh no. Like I like that. So one of the things that you learn as a student athlete, because I played Division I college football for 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like throughout injuries and all that stuff, and I did that like from when I was 17 to when I was 23. Yeah, 23, right? So like formative, like young adult years, right? And so my experience as a young adult is waking up with anxiety at 5 o'clock in the morning for 6 years, hoping that I'm not late to a meeting, because then it's just like it's over for you for like at least that day, right?
Yeah.
Like like the rest of my 20s after that point really was like trying to like navigate what sort of like the non-athlete life is. And like once I got into medical school, it's just like you quickly learn that like you could spend 16 hours studying, but like none of that matters if you don't go to sleep, because you're not going to remember it all. And so it's the like the way I just sort of like approach just like education, life, all those things because of medical school. It has definitely reoriented me towards something that is a lot more sustainable. Hence where I'm like, I'll do a little bit of a whole bunch of different things every day. and if I, give myself enough time to do it all, then it all works out in the end, right? And and that's, I think, like, last year was definitely a testament to that. And hopefully, just sort of moving forward, I could just sort of like build off of that, because it's stressful, and like, there's a lot of times where you're just like, I don't want to do anything, but you have to. And if you just put an hour in, then, like, at least you get somewhere, right? You could
Right.
spend the next 3 hours watching Echo or something. Like, it's and then just like treating yourself, and just being sort of kind to yourself at the end of the day. Like, it's that's just because, like, what else are you going to do? You're just going to like, do the stuff that you enjoy, do the stuff that you that makes you happy. And if you don't, at least do something that's cool that people will talk about. And and I kind of just look at it that way. Like, I get like, kid you not, probably out of my school in general, probably, most schools, I am probably, I can, I have a lot of cool stuff to talk about within the medical field and space, right? Whether it's just talking about, extracurricular stuff, talking about sports, talking about nerdy stuff in animation, talking about anime, talking about creative processes, or even talking about research, right? Like, and I think that just speaks to, just like, I'm a Black person, right? Like, we like to talk about stuff, right? We like to talk about stuff that we do, especially stuff we're good at, right? And you would be surprised how that translates when you actually are about that stuff. And you will be surprised how much of a difference that makes you amongst your peers. That at at some point, I just started looking at people's shoes. I'm just like, those things, I ain't trying to talk to you. Like, just like, like, you might see a couple Yeezy boosts here and there, but you're never going to see any Jordans. And if you do, you might see some like Team Jordans. Like, you're going to see some Hokas or some weird, New Balances or whatever. But it's like, for early 20s and, mid 20s, late 20s, it's like, at least your shoe game has to be on point. You might be stressed out of, but like, dang, like, it's so, I like little things like that, just sort of, I get a kick out of, just to like keep going, because it's you have to find ways to deal with that isolation, and you have to find ways to deal with just navigating just something that, like, you probably know nobody else is doing. And at least for me, it's like, I'm fortunate enough to be personable, and be on the internet, and do all the things that I like to do, and connect with people. I think that was something that I definitely got better with over the pandemic, because I couldn't see people, and I wasn't really seeing people anyway. But like, I got to connect with all my friends from all the every other place, and have it be like a baseline. And once I started doing that, like, it was it made the journey a lot more palatable every day. And whenever I came out with a new demo, whenever I made a new video about stuff, right? Like the video you showed, I just be making stuff up here, and then I just post it on the internet. Like, that's just what I do. And it's just good. It feels good to just see that, like, from this like isolated space, it's well received, and people get it. And I think that's really like the big thing, because especially in tech, like, the Vision Pro is about to come out, and I mean, it's cool, but like, I don't know. I'm waiting to see how long it's going to take for them to drop the price, because like, it just like, it's like, what you gonna do with it? You can't play Fortnite on it, so it's like, what's the point? It's like, I work in the space, right? Like, and it's just like, and so I'm always sitting here just sort of looking at the outside world. I'm over here. I gotta learn pathology. I gotta learn about gout. I gotta learn about UTIs. I gotta learn about all that stuff, right? And I gotta take tests about it, like, with it. And then, once I close the books, and I sort of take a step back from that, I get to animate, and I get to do all these other things that are really, really fun. And so,
our resident editor, Tafari TV, says he's an anime loving IT major who played football in Wisconsin.
Dude, when did you play at Wisconsin? Like, I want to know because we played Wisconsin our first game and we dethroned you guys. Like, we beat you guys. Yeah.
I think the
I had to tackle Monty Ball.
flashbacks.
He said, this man is preaching. I was like a new species everywhere I went in the Midwest. Oh, it's funny you mentioned earlier that you were a fan of the Boondocks, and it just so happens we're good friends with Carl Jones, who's so
I've
you never know.
I
Actually, let me go ahead and just send out a request to somebody.
Yeah,
just let me just
look at every now and then, I'll be I'm not up in everybody's DMs, but I'll just be sending people stuff, right? Like it, and that's normally how I like how I meet people, right? Like me and if you're familiar with Trill League, I hope you guys are.
Yes.
I'm really good friends with Anthony. He was like one of my he's one of my like convention buddies, and by virtue of Anthony, like got connected with Chase. And so like everybody that I know that's like popping, that is doing something, like they know that I'm going to hit them up about like, hey, okay, like it's whenever you're ready, I know you're animating, I know you're doing this stuff, let's make some AR stuff. Because it's like, for me, it's just like I'm just trying to put people on at this point. Because it's because like to that point, it's like the economy of the animation industry, for all its greatness and everything, there are very little opportunities for you to actually make a living or actually generate revenue within animation is very restricted to just a few options, and a lot of that stuff is not customer facing. And so like the scalability of it, it's really easy for somebody to make a killing off of stickers. But, if you were to just take a little bit of that, a little bit of what you would do for animation, integrate that into, a physical product or whatever, and just build an experience around it, because that's pretty much all this is, just building out experiences. It, like there's just avenues for it, because it's not like we're all, like we're on the gig economy at this point. And so it's like, it's not like you got I mean, if you're lucky to have a pension, like you might have a pension, you might have, a savings, all these different things. But like a lot of us, we're going, project to project. We might have a stable income, but then we have something on the side. We got something else on the side. We still have our dreams and hopes. It's all those different things. So it's like, you never know what's going to happen. But, I like when you're on an app store, you're in a whole different ball game. And there's a lot to say for being on an app store. Yeah. Even if your app is just to show some pictures moving. Like that's a feat in and of itself. There's not a lot of Black people in the app store. Like it just is. And so it's like, would you rather have 10,000 followers, or would you rather have 10,000 app downloads? It's like, just from my experience of the things that I've explored and the insights that I've gotten from it, it's a lot of stuff that is like, the bar is very low, but like to even like, and even to like get around to like doing it, it took me maybe like 2 weeks to like make an app and put it on the app store. Like the first iteration of Island Fever took me maybe, I don't know, I'd take like a month. Like a month and like $110.
That's determined.
That's it's
determined and driven.
Like it's now people pay me to do it, and so that's a fun thing. But but to say like to be on an app store and to be able to be an artist and to be able to sort of understand the work and show people and have it either go over their head or get some level of admiration or whatever. Like if it doesn't do anything, at least it makes an impression. And I'm now I could just be like, oh yeah, I'm the dude that like makes the AR stuff that's in medical school, and people were like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. I have a couple comments that's in the crowd. So Elizabeth Collins says he's preaching for real. She's a microbiology public health major. She's also a lab technician who likes drawing anime. So this shit is interesting. Tafari states he is D3. He was not in the big leagues. Concordia, Wisconsin conference champs freshman year. So though he did get a ring out of
Hey,
it.
win.
Student Dr. Chad over on IG, he says opportunities are definitely slim in animation. You almost have to know someone to get in the door.
Yes. Yes.
So our very own. Honestly, do I look like I give a fuck? Or AKA Nicole, or AKA Whoopty Freaky Do. She says she has a BS in biology and an MS in biomedical sciences, so it speaks to her as well. So,
Like,
dude,
honestly, the easiest bag is just going into like making comics and cartoons for like science. Like, if you're just like, I just want to make a quick buck and just like spend a year doing that, like the bar is so low. Like it's so low. Like, if what is the there's a manga and anime about like the human immune system.
oh,
like
Dead cells.
Yeah,
cells at work.
that's it.
Yeah. It, like, literally, if somebody were just like make their own version of cells at work, like write your ticket. Like it's because it's and that's one of the things that like I'll be exploring with like my PhD is looking at how, like, you know, you can make health education, not like medical education, but just like health education, just stuff about the human body that doesn't require that's devoid of like the misinformation that like you'll see on like the internet with like YouTube and TikTok videos of people that have never read a book in their life. Like it just like don't talk to me about CMOS. Like it just, you know, if you have high blood, like if you have high blood pressure, the last thing you need is more salt. Like don't talk to me about CMOS. Like it just like what? But like once you understand and like because it's all a story at this point, because like you're not walking around just being like, oh yeah, blah blah, you're freaking, you know, your hydrostatic pressure is overloaded, and so, you know, you got edema, and if you poke your stomach, it's going to have a fluid wave. It's like nobody really cares about that. But like if you make it compelling and interesting, like people will remember a whole bunch of different things, and that will help themselves. I mean, to their detriment, but like it just, you know, it's so integrating technology, AR, VR, animation, Black people stuff, and just like integrating that into an experience that people can enjoy and learn from, and be excited to engage with. That's kind of, you know, it just I'm fortunate enough to be able to explore that on an academic level and have it be taken seriously.
You've managed to build the bridge that a lot of blurs out there didn't realize could be built.
I didn't realize it could be built either. I was told this stuff was like, I kid you not, like I applied to 75, 80 medical schools, and I got rejected by, I got 72 medical school rejections. Like it just like, this is like like me at this point, it's like, I wish you would tell me I can't do something, because it's like, I've done enough to where like, I could tell you don't know what you're talking about. and that's like, I don't know what it's going to come to, but like, I know that what you're telling me doesn't make sense to me, because the stuff that people told me wasn't going to work are the things that people are talking about now. It took a while for people to come around, but like, you know, like at this point, it's like, you know, being hard-headed is kind of like my saving grace at this point.
I enjoy when people say you can't do that. I'm like, I'm an Aries. Watch me. Lady Mandalore, what were you going to ask you?
I think she went on mute for a second.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Griot Horror, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so sorry for being late.
You're fine.
You're okay. We just met this man. Like I said, when does his practice start, and when can I sign up?
Yeah.
Because if he's this on point about everything else in life, let me know if my kidney's gonna make it. That's all I ask. Tell it to me true.
I'm pretty sure that if something happens, I'm gonna tell my wife. I said, no. Call Steven. Who's Steven? Call Steven.
What did he say? That's gonna be the marker. That's the mark of a good doctor. No, what did he say? No, what did Dr. Steven say?
It's like, stay away from CMOS. all I have to say.
That's gotta be annoying.
Tell my husband that he likes me more.
No,
So,
I like kid you not. Because mind you, I'm studying for like a medical like U.S. medical license exam, right? And so it's like I take pride in the stuff that I know because I've missed a lot of questions and had to deal with a lot of strife just to know the stuff, right? I saw there's this like video circulating around about this dude. He has like face tattoos. Not to say anything about face tattoos, but like if you have face tattoos, at least know what you're talking about, right? Like it just. And so he was talking about like he was just going off about these different things, and one of the things that he said was like the heart isn't. They say the heart isn't a pump, or they say the heart is a pump, but it's not a pump. Your lungs are a pump, and your lungs do this and all that. And I was just like,
Sir.
that's gotta be
I'm upset that you have this much attention for the stuff that you're saying, and I feel like it's partly because you're just talking fast and that you got face tattoos because it just didn't make any sense. And then the worst part about it was he had pictures, like he had like animations and stuff like that were going to it, and it wasn't like it was like somebody like made like this sort of like slam smash hit video type of thing, and he was just like going off about this. I was like, I respect the editing. Like this is like I need to do that. I need to get better at that because what you're talking about is trash. Like it just like it just like you know it just like it didn't make sense from the beginning to the end. And I was just like, man, at least that editing was on point because like this like the worst part was like my dad sent me the video after I sent it, and then I was just like, dude, like
No.
don't send me this. Like,
Daddy, no. Yeah, no.
don't send me this. But like as a researcher, I want to see that stuff because I want to see what works. And that way when I actually go to like actually wanting to do something and I need a reference point, I have a reference point to at least latch onto. So now it's like, okay, you know, if I'm doing something, I'm going to use the essence of this video. I'm going to use the essence of what I see here, the content, and I'm actually going to make it useful. And then I could run a study off of it and stuff like that. And I think that's the like to be able to sit there and just appreciate what exists and then actually have the ability and the wherewithal to actually do something like for the betterment of people and have that be taken seriously. Like I think I'm, you know, for how all the trials and tribulations of my journey, you know, I really just appreciate just being able to do that and just sort of like looking at like how my parents are and just people around me, mainly a lot of Black people around me, and seeing how that isn't really the case for them. You know, it just, you know, it's a, you know, if I were to say like where, like, have I found like after my 30 plus years of being on this earth, have I found like an avenue where I actually feel like I'll be fulfilled and I can do this until I'm 75, 80 years old? It's like this is definitely it. Like, you know, like no, NFL didn't work out, but I think this is us. I'm on the right track with this.
Student Dr. Chad said I wish more students would talk about the rejections and the roadblocks when trying to pursue degrees in STEM. Thank you for telling the truth. It's refreshing for STEM professionals to be transparent. Elizabeth Collins says my friend is in her residency, and yes, during her time in med school, it was rough. A lot of her moments, it was a lot of rough events and emotional times. Yeah. Everybody's like on board. It's amazing how many science geeks are in the Blerd community. I love it. I love it.
That's the medical field. I will always be that to me is always a big thing to see those still wanting to become nurses, doctors, surgeons. I will give you guys all the credit in the world because I've seen friends go through medical school. I've seen friends go through residencies. I've seen friends go through board exams. One friend of mine, I'll never forget this. He had to go to a rage room after he got done. I was like, bruh, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
He just sat there and said, he just sat there and said, bro, I just need to break something. Okay. We can find a place. Just don't hit me. That's all I had.
Like it's real. Like it's real.
It's not a joke. Like it's not something that the hardest part of being in the medical field is exactly what Stephen was talking about. It's having people that have not done a percentage of the research and practice and execution and focus on in the field that we're in. It's not. It's fucking annoying. So annoying. So annoying.
Like the best way I can describe it is it feels like because like you could learn the content, understand all those things, right? But when you're actually taking a test, it feels like you are like the test that you're taking is written in a different language. And it's and like the way I could chalk it up to is I was like, I know Black people did not make these questions.
Okay.
Because I like and that just to just sort of like, you know, just to like wrap my mind around it, because it's like, you know, you want me to know these things, and I do know those things, but why did you say it that way? Like, who talks like that? And it's you know, and it's so far removed, at least like the first 2 years of medical school, because like at least for me, like my track is like 6-7 years. So like I do like my first 2 years of and this is like I'm learning this as I go. I didn't know this like prior to it, right? But my first 2 years is just like classroom work. My then I take a break from medical school technically to do like 2 to 3 years of research for my PhD, and then I do my clinical stuff my last 2 years. And so that's what my like track looks like. And so, you know, technically I'm like a third of the way through, right? But it's like I am counting the days till I'm not looking at a freaking multiple choice test, because it's the bane of my existence. Like it's like I'll sit here, I will animate a cat scratching his face like at 60 frames per second before I like want to touch another freaking like multiple choice test, because it's like you know, it's like I read the passage and it's like, okay, I know what we're talking about, boom 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 boom, and then they will give me the thing that I was thinking about, so I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. And then they'll come out of left field and just be like, oh yeah, what will we do next? And then they'll give me a whole bunch of just like random stuff that like nobody even talks about, and I'm just like, really? Like, this is what we're doing today? Like, and so it's you know, the fact that I can create stuff is a blessing, because a lot of people just drink and watch TV. Like it's just like it's you would be surprised. Like I'm the one at the school that has the best presentations. Like I like people want to be in my projects, like, because everybody else is like, you know,
it's once again proving that, you know, when our people are involved,
Yeah,
a little extra on
we
that.
push the needle.
Yeah.
Because why? We have to be twice as good for half the goddamn credit.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Then there's that. Then there's that. So,
But we always still push the needle.
yeah, consistently.
Yeah, it's like one, and I think one of the things that like I'm coming to terms with is understanding that the things that come like relatively easy to like people that aren't doing as much stuff is not an indictment on like my ability to do things, even if it like takes longer. I think that's like just on a regular basis, because you know, yes, I could do all these different things, and like I do well with a lot of things that are not medical school related, or at least not like multiple choice medical school related. But when it comes down to, you know, like trying to get a test done, or like getting past your test, because that's pretty much what we're judged on at this point. You know, I'm just like, dude, I just need to pass. Just give me the P and just let me go. Like, you know, I ain't trying to get an 80. I'm definitely not trying to get a 90, because that means that I spent too much time with that stuff that I could have been doing with other stuff. Right? Like, it's pass fail, give me the P and let me just move on. And
balance somewhere.
And it's and it can be a challenge, right? Like, it can be a challenge, especially when just like things just, you don't feel like doing stuff, or you're tired, or it snows, or like all types of stuff, right? And so being okay with like not being perfect, but also being okay with like not being at like the top of the pack and just like barely scooting by. It's okay to it's okay to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And even as a MD or a PhD or whatever, like it just like sometimes you just got to just get by just so you can do the stuff that you enjoy, and that's been a challenge. Just because it's like you don't always want to be on edge of like, dang, did I fail? Did I do this, or did I fall short in one way or another? Because they will definitely let you know when you're falling short.
Yeah,
it's like there's an email away. It's like, but it's all part of the process. Like and that's why they call it practicing medicine, because nobody knows what they're doing half the time.
Don't let my
That's
grandmother
scary.
hear you say that shit, because good.
That's scary.
I mean, mind you, like it's a practice, but like, when Tom Brady practices, he has the experience to back up what he's going to do, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I like, if your wrist is hurting, I probably have an idea of why your wrist is hurting. And I could go down a whole bunch of different things of what would cause it. And after talking to you for like a couple of minutes, I could probably narrow it down to like a couple of things. That's what they train us to do, right? Like if somebody is walking down the street and they have a big belly or whatever, I probably have an idea of what's going on with their kidneys or their liver. Like it just like, and also the things that are associated with it that are, something they don't want to tell people. It's like just because the body works in a certain way, right? And so it's like, yeah, it's a practice, but like in order for us to get into practicing, they're not going to let us practice until like 5, 6, 7 years from when we got into medical school.
Exactly.
And so, that 10,000 hours, that 10,000 hours comes quick, and then it multiplies, before we even get to practice. And so it's and eventually, I'll probably have a series, or I'll have a whole bunch of books done, and I'll have all that because I get stressed out, and when I get stressed out, I need to make stuff. So
he sponsors
me.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with you, Steven. We're going to come back. We got some news pieces to talk about. Some more Star Wars news, and of course the Queen. Talk about that, and then a small review on Echo. Other than that, we will be right back.
What's happening? Hair longer, money ain't, so pay attention. Last couple seasons on the show have been very busy, and just to make navigating that easier for you all, I've taken it upon myself to go ahead and clean up the channel a little bit. However, if you are here for just a specific type of content, or you're new here and want to see what we're about, highly recommend our playlist section for you. If you want to see us react or review movies, trailers, video games, and whatnot, that's up there. I get it, not everybody can sit through a 2-hour podcast. So if you just want to see what the best or funniest bits were from each episode, that's going to be our highlights section. If you want to see some of the cool guests we've had on for interviews, up here. If you want to see some of the cool guests we've got to interview IRL, over here. Also, yes, please do all 3 of those. Now, if you'll excuse me, still looking for answers on that.
Blurred's Eye View is a proud affiliate of Otaku Noir. Use the code Blurred's Eye View for 10% off on all items. With a different nerd-themed box filled with items made by talented blurs across the country, you surely will not be disappointed. Go to otakunoir.com. Otaku Noir, the #1 blurred mystery box company. So we've got to look. Remember, Lady Mandalore. Well, she's off camera right now. But okay, so remember I said that we will be getting The Mandalorian as a film.
Yes.
Turns out we're still getting a 4th season, and The Mandalorian and Grogu, as it's being called, is being set up to be a trilogy.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Wait.
Okay. They gotta cook.
Wait.
They gotta deliver.
Wait a minute.
That's a
I
lot.
gotta get. Wait. Let me put my face on. Hold on.
That's a lot.
There's the man. Filoni's doing his thing over there.
He is cooking. He's
Yes.
cooking.
But now I hope they're just not just stretching it to its limit and beyond.
No,
That's my
not on that man's watch. Ain't no.
A trilogy and another season.
So let me explain something to you a little bit. Just give me 2 seconds. All right. So what are gonna happen? He's gonna bring it. He's gonna have a little baby do something, right? And now he got over here the Ahsoka. The Ahsoka, you gotta build up a thing, and so he gonna go in the past with the thing. And that's when the girl with the director, she gonna come in here. She's gonna come in here. She's gonna do the whole origin for the Jedi. Okay. So when they do that, he gotta bring in the baby. He gonna bring in somebody else. I forgot. It's a second person. Second person's gonna be in the thing for right now for the permanent. Okay. Right. Follow me. Stay.
Lady Mandalore's talking like that. I want a Cuban sandwich at this point.
All I can say is that the West Indian came out just already.
That was not West Indian. No, that
is very much not West Indian. I'm gonna need you to not say that because my entire family, I felt a wave of my ancestors descend
My
upon me
bad.
right now.
That's what it sounded like from my side. I'm sorry.
It's a little West Indian only because maybe it's a little Dominican, but that's a different story anyway.
That's not black.
Don't do it.
So it's funny that
I swear to God, one last thing. Okay, so wait. Okay, so now he got the baby Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he got the baby Grogu. That movie is gonna bring everybody together. It's gonna bring the whole thing together. You make a whole new story. We ain't done with the story, but that's what the whole thing is gonna come. It's gonna come back. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. I swear to God, it's so. I'm seriously judging me like Mulan, like overly. But yeah. Okay, so what I said in English is he's finishing off the TV series of Grogu. They have 3 full feature-length movies that they're going to be putting out. So he's finishing off the series. Ahsoka is going to help usher in the prequel for the Jedi movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The prequel to the Jedi movie is going to probably kick off the acolyte or help with the acolytes and all that kind of stuff, which is also a prequel to the Jedi in a way. The other movie that they're going to do where they're bringing Rey back in, that's going to be more, I think that's more of a future movie. And then I believe the Grogu movie is going to bring all of that together for one big story.
Mercy.
He's doing things.
That's his own Avenger type of thing because that shit sounds very much like it's a lot.
He won't be the only one that's tired. So the Fantastic Four production will start this July, which means we should be getting cast announcements really soon.
They already know. What you mean July? They've known for 2 years.
Oh no, they've known.
They know. We don't know.
No, but he said announcements like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we should wait.
And with that being said, Pedro Pascal just dropped out of a movie to fit in the schedule for Mandalorian, and more than likely Fantastic Four.
As long as he's not dropping out of Last of Us, that's all. He can drop out.
He's not. He
dropping out of Last of Us.
He didn't. He's not.
They got plans for Last of Us. They
dropped out. The other movie he dropped out of is like Weapons or something, but he dropped out of it because he wanted to make some what's it called? Weapons and that's what it's called.
Oh, it's not whack anyway.
Yeah, he's dropping out of this movie by Zach Kreger called Weapons in order to fit both Fantastic Four and Last of Us. And this is just theory, but definitely Last of Us season 2 into his schedule.
Okay.
We know that.
Wait, hold on. Just real quick. Cite your sources, sir. I need to know where is this coming from?
Do we know
deadline?
Do we know?
Okay, all right, I believe. I accept it.
The man on the wall does not just take rumor lightly.
Come on now.
Is it confirmed that he's Mr. Fantastic?
I think it's literally around the corner of them announcing something.
Okay.
Okay. At this point, it's like it's around it's no less around the corner. It's just kind of like, yeah, we're just waiting on you to say it.
So he's working for Marvel.
I mean, it's pretty much his if he wants it.
Those Disney checks hit different.
The smallest piece of me doesn't want no more like information. I'm over like
I don't want to know
everything on the front end and then going to
this
the
is
movie
why I did
how it plays out.
This is why I didn't report on anything else on Deadpool, because they released something else and I'm like, I'm not even sharing that because damn it, I want to see it myself. I don't want to see behind the scenes stuff. Don't spoil it.
It's bad. It's ashy. The quality on the stuff that they are putting out, like I don't want to see. Don't give me an unbaked cake. I don't want to eat that. Don't do that.
I thought you were gonna say stop sending us the Nokia phone pictures.
And I mean, it's your typical telephoto video. It's clearly that. It's just I'm like, I'm not getting on this train with you. Ryan, get those people together, please. I would rather share Ryan Reynolds stuff just for the sake of pure comedy. Pure comedy. So
I'm excited.
So as I stated at the beginning of the show, I played the 15-minute speech that the Queen gave for her honorary Oscar. Now, who's the Queen? And you'd be a fool to walk in here and not know who we're talking about, but we're talking about Angela Bassett. Cinematic Assassin, you might want to start getting that clock together. And
I'm gonna just let it go.
Because it's gonna happen. So she gave a riveting 15-minute speech that was she was introduced by Regina King, another goddess. Just call it what it is. And she the Queen received this honorary Oscar, which we're I don't even think we're on the fence. We're just like, we know her worth. Y'all were late to the party.
Very.
You know, thank you for the speech, Queen. We're glad you have your Oscar. And here's the thing I found out about honorary Oscars. They're not always the statue. Sometimes it's a scroll. Sometimes it's a medal.
What?
Yeah, and it's never televised. It's hardly ever televised, and they don't give it out often.
Because we can fight.
Can I add one more thing? And just to maybe make this a little bit. Oh, fuck it.
Speak on it.
The Academy. So the actual Oscars, people have to vote on.
Yeah.
Her getting this honorary one kind of means a little bit more because they said, fuck y'all and your votes. This person deserves it. It's kind of, but it's also like, but the people, y'all don't like me. Who said? Who are you? Who are you?
But listen, respectfully,
we all were.
And an Oscar, and you walk up here and hand me an Oswald, I'm swinging expeditiously. Don't like. What you mean? It's a scroll. Sometimes I'm fighting on stage, Will Smith style.
I mean, we were generally
here you are.
Like we're just. I told you I was gonna do it.
Accurate. All.
I need y'all to find me a Susie Carmichael staring in motherfuckerly.
I'm working on that one. I was reading my mind. I'm actually working on that one.
A Susie Carmichael.
I would love that. I would love that.
So, and you're right, Lady Mandalore. It does mean a little bit more. It's just on base front. It just seems so.
One of these.
Yeah. like when you know what it's about, you're just like, okay, but it's like bad. It's like bad timing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's just like it's literally almost a year to the date. And it's like, oh, you waited. And like it's the same with the Walk of Fame. A lot of people didn't know that you generally have to buy your star to get on there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Good
not
old-
it's not
I
like
did
it's
not
not
know.
like it's not like the collective of people vote to say, hey, here you are, and then they put your star out, because there's people who've gotten stars who haven't been in the acting game as long as others, and you're just like, wow, like
Yeah, like, how is that possible?
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's the crazy part. Buying your own Walk of Fame so others can celebrate you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a party.
So for those Trekkies out there, they are doing a prequel to Star Trek, and the director from Andor is attached.
Okay.
I'm kind of concerned.
I mean, wait, what you mean you concerned? What's the problem?
I don't know.
As a Trekkie, as a Trekkie, that you're doing a prequel to Star Trek, that you're trying to do it from an Andor storytelling standpoint, I'm concerned.
So
Okay, well, first of all, is it a movie or is it a series?
movie.
He's just directing, or is he directing and writing?
He's directing. Toby Haynes is directing. Seth Graham-Smith, J.J. Abrams, and Bad Robot are producing.
Never mind, I'm out.
You see why my concern level just went higher.
Yeah.
Concern level just went to Diddy party status right now.
Yeah. Are we talking about prequel to the original Star Trek?
I'm assuming because you could tell like way before the strike that it was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of back and forth.
Are they retelling First Contact? Or do they say?
They just said an origin story. I don't know why they're doing this. Like we've gotten an origin story already.
You don't really need an origin story for that.
We already
give us more Avengers, honestly.
Like it's not like other than Anton Yelchin, may you rest in peace.
Right.
The rest of the cast is still there.
This smells like we gotta do something before we lose the rights.
It sounds like it, but you don't. But why? I'm sorry.
And then they still saying that the sequel to the last one that came out is still in active development. Now look,
that's development hell.
Thank you.
It's stuck in purgatory.
It's stuck. Yeah, when you hear active development, is development hell. That's just all that means. It's stuck. It's not moving. It's going to be a problem. By the time you see it, it'll be it's 2016 when that came out. We're in 2024.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Star Trek movie, the Beyond and the reboot were cool, but you've already did Enterprise as a television show. That was fine. You've already did First Contact, which was the movie, which was supposed to be the prequel. That was fine. Even when the original Star Treks covered it. So it's like, why are we going back a fourth time? That's the part I got questions about. You're beating a dead horse.
Exactly. And I don't think they understand.
I'm trying to milk the money.
Yeah. I think this is one of them things where, okay, we can look at Star Wars, for example. We've often gotten on our collective horses and said, hey, there is so much story outside the Skywalker clan. Please tell those stories. Yes. It doesn't always have to revolve around Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie. I mean, granted, love them to death, but it doesn't have to be this clan. It can be this over here. It can be Andor. Yes, it's a nice tie-in. It could be Rogue One. Yes, it's a tie-in. But at the same time, there are different stories.
And different characters that we would love for y'all to actually do stories on.
It's too much. It's too much universe to not have something to say. You know what? We don't have to involve this over here. No. We can go ahead and have this whole branch of something going on while all of this was happening.
Yeah.
and tell
You could
that
actually give
story.
You could actually give us the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
It's like people keep throwing it in their face, and
You
it's
can
like,
go
how
to
do you
Old
keep
Republic.
surpassing this?
I still
Mhm.
want the Night Sisters. I want the Night Sisters,
you have-
and I want
exactly,
the
that's
tale
another one.
of the
Mhm.
dark side. That's what I
Girl.
want.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I don't understand.
Let's explore the Sith. Absolutely.
It's there.
That would be so interesting, and I know that people would love that.
Yeah.
Why the rule of two became a thing. It's like,
I love that story.
The rule of two is a
I
thing.
do, and I don't know if it's considered still canon, because I don't think it is.
So
it's not.
Look, they've been taking bits and pieces of everything for
Yeah.
years now and putting it in. They're just trying to they're doing the thing that Marvel can't do. They are taking their time and they're cherry picking things and not shoehorning stuff in just because people want to see it or it's easier for them to produce or to develop. They're
Yeah.
taking
I would love
Yes.
at night. I would love a Knights of
That
the Old
part.
Republic.
That part.
Honestly, it's you're probably just going to find all that stuff in games. Like it's
I
like
it's
it's like it, I would be surprised if you either that or you're going to get something like Visions.
Mhm.
Which is still
Which, again,
fantastic.
Yeah,
Still a
Yes,
great
like it
that's
just
fantastic.
like you'll get like 15 minutes or you'll get like a side storyline in like a video game.
Yeah.
Like because that it's and then it will be canon.
Yeah.
but like that
They can't deny that it happened.
Right.
because
And
it's because like because at that point like you're trying to you have enough stuff to go off of, but with the game you're really trying to like fill up space, like give people stuff to do and to sort of justify paying $70 or whatever, right? It's like I would expect that to be more of a anything that I hope to get from Star Wars will either be a short or it'll be a side quest in a video game.
I can't remember where I seen it yesterday, but someone said the way the last set of trilogies went, it should have went this way. And it actually wasn't bad because it was a better build-up that would have led into probably another set of, it basically ended with Rey going to the dark side and Finn and Poe basically getting at Kylo Ren and convincing him like, hey, you might need to come talk to us, bro.
Yeah.
and Luke not dying, so
I was okay with that actually. But
just
we're
kind of
saying that one for here. Ray should have definitely gone to the dark side.
just
They
kind of
teased
like
the shit out of that.
one
I'm like, oh, y'all not doing that.
yeah, one flips, the other one flips back because there's
Balance.
a redemption. Yeah, there's a balance, there's redemption. So it's like it needed to be done. So
Yep.
I'm like, actually, that's not bad. And it built Finn up to be a much better character.
Yep.
Or a
Or have them
character.
both.
Yeah,
Or have them both go to the dark side and actually introduce another hero in the next trilogy.
They had a build, they had a way.
There were multiple routes of egress for them to go.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was exits on the interstate they could have taken at any time.
And they
You're sitting up there like, no, this was it. No, wait.
And the destination was not worth it.
It's like they were following MapQuest.
You said we was going to the
Facts.
barbecue. We did. We went to the worst barbecue
One
joint
with
in America. What?
Right.
So, speaking of the ruler two, who all has watched Echo?
Ooh,
The first two.
Without spoilers.
God damn it.
Without spoilers, but just enough. How's that sound?
It's so hard. I'm gonna be quiet. I don't think
Shout
I
out
can-
to the hall.
I'm prone to just say, just go ahead. Just don't hit nothing in the ship.
Mhm.
I like it.
Lainey, are you familiar with Daredevil and Kingpin and
Yes.
okay. I need you to really hurry up because we need to talk.
yeah. Like this is
I saw the first two episodes, and I saw the first episode.
No, I need you to watch the last episode because we need to talk.
Look, there's.
it's like
I will say this about number one, Devery Jacobs, who actually does the voice of Kaori, that's on What If, plays the cousin Bonnie.
Yeah,
and she's very much on board to bringing that character to life. But these people did a fantastic job. God damn. Vincent D'Onofrio
shouldn't be 5 episodes. Fantastic, because I didn't like the fact that.
You know what? I was concerned about 5 episodes. It
was enough.
It was enough.
It was enough.
It wasn't too much. It was just enough.
Yeah, it was right amount.
Vincent D'Onofrio, this quiet quiet intensity that this dude keeps portraying. Yo.
Well,
I'm like, that's the son bitch you need to be worried about.
When a dude is always calm and just even at the worst times, it's like I was hoping we could just eat. That's all I wanted.
It's like, but it's Thursday. It's Thursday.
I was like, Maya. I'm like, yo,
that's a dad moment.
Criminal Intent too.
Yeah,
no, that's a dad moment when he looks at you like, just do what I asked you to do.
I love the fact that that you're using ASL.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
the sound design.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the sound design was amazing.
When they did the digital, I don't even know the digital hand thing.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Wow, I'm like, wait, it's possible. They might be able to do that.
Yeah,
even
it very much, and not just one person. The entire cast.
Yeah, they all learned it. The
entire cast, and then the representation. Thank you.
So what? So why do you think it was a dump then? Because if it sounds like it's that intriguing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that should have been over time instead of a dump.
It depends on. I think it depends on what their release dates are looking like and what they have lined up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it depends on.
And I have to wait for Lane to finish so I can tell that part. There's a reason for that, but I can't tell you.
It's a lily. It's a lily pad.
Yeah.
It's a lily pad. It's
definitely that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be something that I would be like, okay, I need to wait till the next episode comes out next week, type of thing. Because if I'm comparing it to like Loki, where it's like there's like a level of suspense that is always like high. Like this one is like I'm a sit here and run through the episodes and watch them all because it's not as much of a spectacle as it is like walking away from it. Like
it's a drama. It's a drama.
Yeah, it's a drama. Like like I had more appreciation for the characters. It was a lot more character driven, but it wasn't as much spectacle. And I think you get your cameos and stuff like that, but it's like it was just a very well written movie or written show. Like it just casting, even the casting for the girl and then the older, her younger self was just spot on.
Spot on.
Yeah. You couldn't get any better than that. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but it reminded me of kind of like a Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, they've made them canon. The entire Defenders are now MCU canon.
Yep.
And if everybody was worried about what happened during the blip, Daredevil was still there. Was so yeah. And Kingpin, it wasn't so much Kingpin rising back to power. He was just there.
I just gotta leave it at that. Just
what's up with Will?
I don't think we'll finish.
No,
oh no!
I just don't want to drag hell with me. That's all. I'm gonna get myself together and I'll be back.
I kind of thinking about the description of it. It's the reason why it wouldn't do good as a series is the same reason why you wouldn't want Die Hard as a TV series.
I don't know.
It's
a good, but Die Hard.
She makes a good point.
I mean,
wait a minute, lady. Are we having
Die Hard as a move, as a series, no. If you talk about McClane as a series, yes. Die Hard as a series?
I don't know. Do you really want
No, just
McClane
the
getting
first one,
stuff
the first
over?
movie. If you broke up the first movie into 5 episodes, I'm not watching that. I'm not
Well,
watching.
you did have McClane as a
Okay,
series.
okay, we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about the same. I'm
Yeah,
not watching
yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say McClane as a series. That was moonlighting.
Sir.
God.
That ends
Just
with one
saying.
bad night. Oh,
Right.
so
wait. since Tafara said it and you put it on screen, that's what I was laughing at. It's like, yo, imagine Daredevil the moment the blip happens and like half the heartbeats in New York just disappear. Mans must have been going through trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Like, I can't imagine. Absolutely not. Terrifying.
I'm sure he freaked out a little bit. I'm sure he freaked out a little bit. But yeah, for this series, even the fight scenes alone,
brutal.
The long takes. That first long take, Lord, baby.
No, when she okay, I don't want to. When she did the thing with her foot and popped old boy in the muff, that shit was fire. I was like, wait, that's not even your real leg. Wait a minute, that's not even the real leg. You hit him with a bar, literally in the mouth. Wow. Cheers.
good. It's
proud.
Very well put together. I don't know why. I don't know why we really put stock in the Rotten Tomatoes, or why people still, because let's face it, Reddit almost runs that shit. And
much.
Yeah, it was like it's at its lowest rating, and I'm like, look, we're not doing this conversation again. We already know what the issue is. But if you actually sat your tail down and watched this series, you may not. Of course, you don't know who she is if you've never read the comic, and that's fine. But the fact that you're not invested because it's nobody you've seen before,
right?
It's a cop out. Because on the audience side, it's a different story. It's a totally different story. Like, people are like, yeah, this is good. Like, this is good. And that first episode, and when that scene happens, and Kingpin himself says not many people can hold their own against him. Even Matt was like, what the fuck is going on? Let me get out of here. Let me step back for a minute.
Yeah. She got good hits on him. I was like, oh. He's like, oh.
Respect.
So
yeah. He's like, game, recognized game. I'm out.
It's what it is. It is what it is. So this is one of those series that in the way it ends, because I was waiting, and the way it ends, and I'm Spartan, you know what it is, because when he shot me a message, and I'm like, yep.
I was waiting for y'all to finish because I couldn't. Well, I told Obi, but Obi just stared at me. So I got to tell somebody I can actually tell somebody that can form complete sentences.
We talked. I talked to you too.
No offense, Obi. I know you can talk. I know that you can talk to Daddy, but Daddy needs adults.
I'm trying to think if she shot twice, because first off, Kate caused an explosion in his face. And then Maya shot him. I can't remember. I have to look back. I can't remember if she shot him twice, but she did. She said she shot him, because you've seen the look on her face. Because she was like,
all right, we got
shot him once.
We gotta watch it and finish.
I was like, oh damn, I'm stuck. It was that look like, oh, damn.
Ooh, I didn't double tap.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I thought. Failed to complete the mission. But no, great representation. They even stated at the end of the episode, at the end of the series, they gave their thanks to the Choctaw tribe, and they're amazing. The actors were amazing. Sign language, sound design, the fight choreography. it almost wants you wanting a little bit more, and we know we're going to get more from her.
Mhm.
The thing between her and her grandmother, damn.
Right.
Let me tell
Oh,
I accidentally cried.
oh,
I
I
accidentally
don't know.
cried. I was like, oh, what is
New Yorkers and the emotions, man.
Mm.
it's like,
I'm glad it's about to be a 3-day weekend. So I'll finish it this weekend.
oh, I forgot. Oh my God, I don't have to go to work on Monday.
There you go.
Oh
Won't
God.
he do
Hey,
it?
man,
Won't he
I'm
do
at
it?
work.
It's Jonathan
Don't show
Majors Day.
Oh,
Jonathan
thank
Majors Day. Won't he do it?
Jonathan Majors Day. Shut up.
We are horrible.
No, I don't know. What? I just got it. Why did it take so long?
I
Oh,
was
I'm
gonna
like,
call it Megan Good Day. Because
Close enough.
Coretta.
Oh my God.
Looking for his Coretta.
Yes. I think we have. Let me see. We do. We do have a reaction video. Yeah, we do. All right. The ones who lived. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who these people are. If you were okay, so this is I guess this is the series because they were playing with the idea of being a television movie.
oh,
Yeah.
sure. Oh, yeah, no, I just remember.
with Rick Grimes and Michonne.
Yeah.
So we're
I'm
gonna
still
go.
watching though.
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
here's the thing: we're watching it for them.
Actually, the Daryl series was not bad.
I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't hear nothing.
The
bad about
Daryl series was not bad.
it. So,
Yeah, the series.
I kind of gave up. I kind of gave up to the original, but
everybody gave up on the original. So, the ones that lived. This is the first
I
look trailer.
didn't.
I'm looking for him.
Love her.
I'm gonna head north.
You don't want to go north, not now.
My wife is my choice. My daughter is my choice. My life is my choice. It's been so long.
Your phone, you know what it says? The Japanese? Believe a little bit longer.
Thank you, Grimes.
Why?
You showed me I can't get away.
This is the most powerful military on the planet.
I'm just gonna ask you a question, Grimes. Look in your eyes. Why are you here? Do you want to kill? Or do you want to die?
Look in my eyes, sir. You tell me.
We can make this whole damn world ours if we want to.
General.
I'm doing it for the general. I'm doing it for the general.
that's what I said.
I'm doing
Every
it
time
for
I'm still gonna watch it. I ain't gonna lie to you, but am I excited?
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. It's not just.
I'm doing it for the general.
You know what I'm saying?
Because of
Like
law.
it's a story.
Definitely from Michonne. Definitely.
It was a story we've been waiting to be
Oh,
told.
that
And it
general.
just-
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah,
and
but
it just kind of like, would y'all hurry up and tell that story?
Are you only waiting for it because it was left unanswered? Are you really waiting to actually see the story?
the first one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like, especially because they deviated so badly off of the comic at this point, especially with those two characters. It's just like, all right, this is milking the cow so badly. That cow is dry and withered and now you're just milking a
It's beef
corpse.
jerky at this point. It's
Yeah,
You
pretty
know what
much.
I'm saying? It is.
Beef
I
jerky.
mean, and again, I'm a Walking Dead fan. I've read the comics and everything, so I'm just like I said,
They've gone.
I will watch it on principle.
They've
The
gone
more
so far away from the heart of the comic. I don't care.
Yeah.
it's the,
You lost me
it's
when you killed Carl.
But the thing
Yeah.
about it is, you want to tell this part of the story, but you're now telling it what 5 years later? You're telling it 5 years later after the original closure of The Walking Dead. So it's not the same. It's not the same.
The impact.
You really, it's almost to the point where you really don't care. You know, Rick got shot off the bridge and somehow floated up north. Michonne, season later, decided to go find him. And then we got the original closing of The Walking Dead. Then you still had Fear the Walking Dead, and you still had the other Walking Dead series out there. And now you want The One Who Lives, which really should have just been a nice little mini series. It didn't have to be a whole television series. You could have put this in a 5-night. You could put this in a 5-night series and called it quits. Honestly,
I mean, when they first announced this some years back, they were talking about TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was movie trilogy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And give us that. Maybe this is that version of it. I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna be straight with you. Like, I feel the fact that Rick, I forgot the actor's name. But Andrew Lincoln, I think it is.
Yeah.
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 Lincoln?
Yeah.
He left basically because like it started to die. The series started to die, and he was basically jumping ship. So, me personally, let him jump ship.
Hey,
You know what I
when
mean?
Denai Guerrera left, and I knew she was gonna leave after Black Panther. So this was 2016. And I was like, when they were like, yeah, she'll be leaving the series, and I said I was waiting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting on it.
But not because at this point you are literally just taking the concept for those characters. To me now, that's another series that you can spawn so many different stories. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be brand new stories or whether it be adaptations from other things, such as for me, y'all need to make the video game series. That shit would sell point blank.
And I think, and I think part of where I fell off with the original season, with the original run, I get it. You veered away from a lot of the source material. You just kind of shifted things around, changed some endings for certain characters. I get it. So you wouldn't be so predictable. But it was becoming to the point where, like, we know, if you've read the book, we know how Glenn goes. We know that. We weren't expecting that level of intensity on the screen.
What would be disappointed if it didn't happen?
That too.
Listen, that part. I was more pissed about that fake out though, because I remember when I first saw
Kirkman is still involved.
I cannot believe that they're gonna do that. I'm like, oh, it's a fake out. Why did you even? Especially if like you know that you're building up to his inevitable death that's just around the corner, and for people that know the comics, they knew it was around the corner to begin with. So it was so irritating.
So it's worse. It was worse. Remember the episode where Glenn fell off the trash can and fell into the thing? Oh, you're talking about that? Okay, I'm sorry. You're talking about that.
Yeah.
That's the part where I'm just like, you had people doing science on this. You were having people do science of the fall.
Yes, they did.
On what would happen. I'm like, sir, it is fiction.
It was bad.
Yeah.
So Halo has received a second season.
I don't know why.
I still like.
You just hearing about that?
I liked it.
I was halfway sick, so I just chalked it up to denial.
I was like, did he just like leave us because he's mad about that? Hey, what, did you just leave us because you're mad about Halo?
Oh my God.
So as a Halo fan, that does not bring me joy.
As a non-Halo fan, I was bored. So
well, so this is the trailer for the second season of Halo.
People of Reach. bring you blessings.
Goodness.
Know that I am the instrument of your extinction. Know that I am death.
Sometimes events are beyond our control. And in those moments, we save what we can.
Look at your faces. I do not see defeat. No! And I do not see surrender. I will not make a stand alone.
We have something the enemy does not.
Oh, I love him though.
We have heroes.
When the battle ends, they just call it a victory and say it was because of me, because of something I did.
Or something you are. Something you can't see. But you feel it.
Just come out with Gears of War already. Oh, poor baby. Last part, what's up?
You're doing the Fall of Reach. You're doing the Fall of Reach way too early. Oh, that's just, and you're not even doing it properly. That's what annoys me. So you're not even doing it properly.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's just, it's the Fall of Reach is what they're doing, and you still don't have a solidified. You don't even have a solidified Master Chief yet. Which, by the way, still keeps taking off his helmet.
Got a Master Chief and they reaching for balls. Wrong. They shouldn't do that.
And somehow, you know what? Shout out to Buki Woodbine though. His character is still somehow alive. I'll give him that. So collect your check, sir.
Wait, Evil Dave Chappelle. That's Evil Dave Chappelle.
Thank you, Tafari. No Noble Team. Right. Noble Team is nowhere to be found.
I mean, at least not in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I mean, it's only like 30 seconds of a whole season of a show. I'm not trying to defend it. I don't know nothing about nothing, so
I'll put
you this way.
I can't play those games. I can't
I'll tell you how I'm feeling, Kira. I'll put it in Mandalorian terms. For you, Kira. Say, for instance, they tried to explain Mando without actually explaining the entire planet's history first.
Oh.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when
see that level of frustration you got right there? The level of frustration and anger right there. Welcome.
So that look that Lady Mandalore had is the same look that Tiana Paris's character Monica Rambeau had in the Marvels when she was just like, you know what, I'm leaving. It's that same look. She's like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this.
Well, I feel like Halo is like Shakespeare for millennials that don't read Shakespeare.
Pretty much.
Like it's
I've
you
never
know
heard that before.
like it just like it's there's not enough. I don't think people want to. Have you played all 5 Halo games? And then like the side ones, like the strategy ones, right? Like I don't think people have the patience for like I just don't think that like with this right like it's like if I were to compare this to like Godzilla, like the monsters of Godzilla, right? Like that, every episode you get a new monster. And some wild stuff that just don't exist, and you don't like what center of the earth, what like Halo. It's like they're going to sit there and introduce like 80 million characters, and then they're going to try to have like robust character development with each of them, and then they're going to like at the end of the day, you're in the game, you're just running around shooting stuff. Like
pretty much
like what like
gun
I'm
over
skipping
go
the
gun
dialogue.
overheat
Like,
gun overheats, then you pick up another weapon.
Yeah, unless we're talking about the flood, like what are we talking about here? Like,
and that's always that part has always ticked me off. That they never did the flood story. They've never done the flood story, and that would have been an easy story to tell. But
yeah,
it's Paramount.
Can't forget the flood story.
It's like that. Like there's okay, we got Cortana, we got like
okay.
the lore of Halo, right? Like the lore of Halo, which goes back at this point couple of decades now.
Yeah.
Like it give us just a mini series that is 12 episodes that is just sort of a either an adjacent like one main sort of like storyline that's rewritten, or just I don't know, like do it one. Like
well, Steve, there actually is one, but it's a YouTube series, Forward Until Dawn. That was good for Halo. It was a nice Halo side story, and it was well directed. It was six parts. It was wonderfully done. They could have followed that formula. And you don't have to go the game. You don't have to go the game storyline. You can literally do your own original story. But there's really so much lore in Halo that you can really tell a great story without having to Hollywoodize it.
So in other words, this is Spartan's theory on that.
Yeah,
that's Spartan's theory. That's how he feels. That's okay.
Well, because like this is all just pretty much just like
this is Safari's theory. This is Safari's theory. Teach their own. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back for the wrap up, and stay tuned. Like just stay tuned.
This just in.
Feeling groggy in the morning? Coffee just can't give you that pep in the step that you're looking for? Try Pop Starts for that great get up and go that adults need. Pop Starts has the vitamin and nutrients that only grown-ups can partake in, and with flavors such as tossed salad and scrambled eggs, and Jack Daniels and Bud Light flavors to start your day or end it. There's nothing better to wake up to unless you count that depressing cubicle job. Well, anyway, try Pop Starts today. Pop Starts is not part of the Kellogg's Corporation. Pop Starts could give you diarrhea. Pop Starts are not found in your local grocery store.
I was eating. What commercial? Commercial break. I'll give you a commercial. There's a goddamn celestial in the ocean and no one is talking about this. What even is that?
Spider-Man, a psychopath wielding powers he has no right to possess.
Jameson, not now. Is this a Thanos thug showing up on CBT? Did Jesus come back and get stuck halfway through? How does nobody have answers on this? It has been sitting here ignored and untouched for months like a Christmas tree. We might as well hang ornaments on it. Read all 600 pages of the Sokovia Accords. Everybody got their nose up in Wakanda business. But nobody has answers on this? I don't even need like an official news report. Send a single TikTok star with the ship. How is nobody investigating this? What the fuck?
Wrap-up protocol initiated, Captain.
Oh, it's that special time now where we have to dock the ship and start this thing over again and go into the weekend. But we could not do with all that without our special guest, Stephen Christian of Iltopia Studios. My guy, thank you for stopping through. This, here we go.
I appreciate it.
There you go. That's better. That's better.
My friends are urging me because this is sort of an inside joke that like not many people know about. But if you go to YouTube and you type in, and this is literally, if you have ever heard of anything coming from left field out of nowhere, this will take the cake, right? I mark my words. If you go to YouTube, type in Pokemon Twerk Team.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
What is?
I'm sorry. You said Twerk King?
Exactly what I said. Pokemon Twerk Team on YouTube. You can do it on TikTok too.
Team or Twerk King?
Twerk Team. Pokemon Twerk Team. Yes.
Are your friends urging you because they are the Pokemon Twerk Team?
No, because it's like a lot of the people, like a lot of my early followers, like I've gained was because I made this series just like when I like my first animated series on YouTube was this, and it has taken on a life of its own to where it has its own subreddit. And so it just sort of it continues to exist whether I like it or not. And so yeah. What happens, what you do when you're young. Hey, what can I say? And so that's always like my icebreaker for everything. It's like, you're welcome.
I feel like it's a little racist too. Like the black girl.
Nice. So this is where everybody can find you, right? Iltopia Studios as well as your other stuff.
Yeah, Iltopia Studios or just Iltopia. I think the Iltopia Studios I haven't really used.
Okay.
But at Iltopia, and if you just go to YouTube and type in Pokemon Twerk Team, you'll find my YouTube channel.
Yeah, we do.
Horrible. Horrible.
But yeah. Oh, if anybody that's watching is going to be at the Black Comic Arts Festival, I think that's the BCAF in San Francisco, and so I will be there on Sunday and Monday of this weekend. And so
okay, cool.
Because I know that's a big convention for MLK weekend, and so
I am going to send you information on a couple people. One is Blurred Station, which we're a part of as well. Another is 9B Collective. We're good friends with them over at Phil Butte and Wande and those guys. And of course, and look at that. And Carl Jones. Small circles. Look at that. Just one degree off from Storm Reed, and maybe just 1 degree off from Issa Rae. Like just one. We need you on here, Issa. You root for everybody black, right? Okay. Lady Mandalore, talk to the people.
I just watched that whole video. I'm so glad to see you've come so far. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I am Lady Mandalore. I am also known as Roomful of Blurds. You can find me on these internets over at Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Fanbase. I also have a podcast called Roomful of Blurds, where I just started doing a comic book reading club. So we have our first 2 comics listed. They are based on the origins of Storm. It's only 2 comics that you need to read by this Sunday. So please get on that. You can go to my channel to find out what those 2 comics are. I also do a little bit of, if not a lot of it now, of voice work. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm on, good God, Talk Story to Me. Coming soon will be, I will be voicing the Gray on Midnight Comics when they release their stuff. And a few I got a job as Ahsoka for somebody, but it's an independent thing, so I'm very excited about that. I don't know if I can talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it tonight because I am really pumped about that.
Nice.
That's dope.
It is. It's fun. And it is now 10 o'clock. My lights went off. I'm going to hand it over to somebody else. Also, F the algorithm.
There you go. Lainey, talk to the people.
Give me a second. Then I want to show the people first. Just in case if y'all don't know what he's talking about. It's about to come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
Oh Lord.
It's not coming on? It's not
it's on. It's and then it's that one too.
There we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj makes an appearance.
I didn't get to that one. I didn't get to it. See, yo, you just made
can't
my
even
day,
breathe.
okay?
A mess.
Right? You just made my day. And also, if I ever have a horrible day, I am definitely going to just put that on. If anyone else that I know is having a horrible day, I'm definitely going to let them see that because that's pop culture right there. In so many, that's Black culture and that's pop culture in so many different ways. Let's go.
Truths.
I'm sorry. I just had everyone. They need to see that. My name is Lainey. I am Geek by Heart. I am Leslie's, at least one half Geek by Heart. Me and my husband run Geek by Heart. You can find us at our YouTube channel that is titled Geek by Heart. You can find us on IG and TikTok at Geek by Heart. We talk about a lot of different things. We do trailer reactions. We talk about movies. I love to talk about horror. We are also getting into streaming. I am streaming Hogwarts Legacy on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7:30. This Saturday should be around 8:30 actually. Because I'll be out. And my husband is streaming. That's right, Obi. You know it. I forgot. Ragnarok. There we go. God of War Ragnarok on Fridays and Sundays around 6. So catch us streaming. Talk to us. We love the company. And
yeah.
Because we'll be watching Always Leave Spartan. So I set it up so eloquently.
I don't be doing nothing, man. It's your boy will be watching the Cinematic Assassin. I like to talk movies and TV, and especially things sound design and sound engineering. So if that sounds cool to you, reach out to me at Mayhem Media. That's MAYEHEM Media. Don't matter what site you're on, they all the same. Steven, thank you for coming through. I don't know how I happened upon your page, but I was like, this is someone we need to talk to. And I was 10,000% proven true. This was a great conversation. Really appreciate your time. I am your editor-in-chief at blursedeyeview.org. I am a writer for purefandom.com. I am a sound designer for a bunch of people that reach out to me and ask me to do stuff. And I'll eventually create content for myself one day. That being said, life is hard. Adulting sucks. Life be lifing. So within that, make sure, please, always take care of your mental health. Take your meds, take your PTO, take your time, take a deep breath, and take care of yourself and each other.
True words.
Oh, Obi wants to talk right now so much. But yes, as he wants to. Oh, now you want to be quiet. Okay. With that being said, guys, I am Black Fox 447 on all the socials. I usually do reviews on everything that I read, that I watch, including gym stuff, because I try to keep in shape. I do have a couple of podcasts of my own. How the Fire Got Here, my political podcast, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. My video game podcast called Get Bit, also every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Both podcasts can be found wherever podcasts can be seen or heard. Oh, you see Mom, and now you want to talk. Well, go to Mom. Go to Mom. Go on to Mom.
I want the ribs.
He saw Mom and immediately turned to a chatterbox. Mama. Oh, you can say Mama's name, but when you want Daddy, you quiet. Oh, don't look at me now.
Ham hocks.
Goofy. That also means that, guys, please check out blursedeyeview.org because I usually do the wrestling column there. Why? Because wrestling is real and people are fake. Shout out to Mr. Kennedy for that one. Also, guys, again, I'm all about unity, about sharing, things of that nature. Please, thank you for bearing with me, guys. I know I do not sound, I kind of sound like Froggy from Little Rascals right now, still coming over a cold, so I apologize. But again, I still have 3 simple rules in life. Same rules that we do in cosplay, the same rules you do in life. Number 1, respect the cosplayer at all times. Number 2, wash your ass before going to anything. Nobody likes to smell funk before you actually show up at any given engagement. As long as soap and things are easily accessible, so should they be. And number 3 is the same rule that I have for myself, that I have for everyone else. In a world like this, guys, it's okay to be nice, to be kind. Don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool.
Right on.
Fried chicken.
Don't do that, because we.
I was having, when he said that, I had Space Coast to Coast flashbacks.
You say that now, but Obi did have his first taste of fried chicken. Now he's like, oh, I can't get no more.
It's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. That man is done for.
Yeah.
I am your man, Chris Fury, the man on the wall. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the people out there in the IG. Still fuck the algorithm, but anyway, thank you for showing your support. Thank you for showing your love and watching it. Steven, my guy, keep doing it. Like you're the base model of what it means to just get up and just do it. Just get up, do that thing, and it'll accomplish itself. Even if it doesn't look like it's a lot, like you said, take that hour out, do something for that hour, and then go do whatever. And when you look back, it'll be done. So appreciate you bringing art, science, nerdiness, and technology all together. That's a dope concept, and I don't think a lot of people realize how fluent it is, especially in the blurred community. So I appreciate you. You that makes you a staple in this community because you're doing something that many people haven't thought about before. And you found a medium to do it. So I appreciate your this conversation is really dope conversation. Everyone that's listening and watching out there, go show your love on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Go show your love over there. Watch us on APR TV. What's APR TV? Always press record. That is a streaming service on Roku and Amazon devices. You can watch this show, past episodes, past seasons as well. We will soon be having the Blurred News Network starting up on Blurred Station. You want to be on there with Blurred Station. You're missing out if you don't. Blurred created content, POC creative content, whether it's manga, anime, live action. Shout out to Jarrell Pattinson and his daughter Dakota. They are doing the Undead Horizon, which is one of the series that's coming out. Issue 1 that's being hosted by Demetrius Holt. That's another series. So shout out to those people. Big thing. Shout out to Trey Lawson over at Always Press Record. Thank you very much. Shout out to Otaku Noir. We're an affiliate of Otaku Noir. We're also an affiliate of it's another one. It's escaping me right now. So that's why I need to make a commercial for it. But anyway, I want to thank the crew. We always do what we got to do. We always handle our business. It's always a blast. It's a good 2 hours to kind of get our minds off of the BS, which is called adulting. And yet still manage adulting on this show. So remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. You can catch us live every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, and now IG. I hope y'all had fun because I definitely did. So until Tuesday, when we see y'all again, take it easy. And like Spartan said, don't be a dick.
Well,
Hey, everybody.